Pork and apples go hand in hand. So I am getting started on my pulled pork sliders with an apple slaw on top. So I'm gonna season both sides of my house seasoning. That is salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and paprika. And to this pot right here, I have 2 large onions that I have quartered, and that's going to sit at the bottom. And so once these juices from the pork shoulder kind of drip out as it cooks, the onions are gonna sit in those juices, and that's gonna be a part of the slider. I need to wash my hands before I make my braising liquid. All right, so I have my braising liquid here, a little apple cider, and chicken stock. Pork shoulder, apples, slaw, screams the fall. So I am going to heat this up a little bit, get that braising liquid bubbling. And while that does that, I am going to make my apple slaw to go along with those pork sliders. I have some matchstick carrots here, some cabbages, Tuscan kale, and of course, beautiful apples. So I'm just gonna tuck it in tightly, and I'm gonna julienne, cut in thin strips. Okay. I'm gonna now cut my cabbage. I have green and purple cabbage. And I'm just mixing it up for a little color. I have 2 apples here. Of course, I'm gonna cut around the core, and I'm going to leave the skin on for a little texture. You wanna slice that in half and just slice really tiny. Little matchsticks, see? Just like the carrots. So I'm adding apples to this slaw because it's gonna add a little bit of sweetness and texture. I am going to add my carrots to the bowl as well. So that's carrots, cabbage, apples, and some kale. Now I'm gonna make a simple dressing for this slaw. So I've got some mayo, a little Dijon mustard, bringing in some of that mustard flavor from the pork shoulder, a little apple cider vinegar. It's all about the apples today. And this is gonna be a tangy and a little sweet slaw. The sweetness is gonna come from the natural sweetness of the apples. A little salt and pepper. And a little honey to balance out the acidity from the vinegar. There we go. Now I'm gonna pour my dressing. Give it one more mix. All right, so that's mixed up. I'll put that to the side. I'm gonna cover this and let it sit in the oven. It's on 300 for a few hours. You know, the longer this cooks, the softer it gets and the easier it pulls apart. My pork shoulder has been in the oven for a few hours now. Because I've been cooking it low and slow, it's shredding like butter. And the pork is gonna soak up all of those juices. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna turn my heat off and build my sliders. I have some toasted pretzel buns here, and I've buttered them as well. I'm gonna put my pulled pork shoulder at the bottom on that buttered bun, and it's gonna soak up all of this braising liquid. Take some of that slaw and put it right on top. Close it off and give it a bite. Wow. That pulled pork literally melts in your mouth. And then the slaw on top, it's a little sweet and it's a little tangy. And then the pretzel bun is just the perfect vehicle for this goodness.
What I'm bringing today is I have some Caribbean jerk sliders. I see you got the little mini bite buffet area going on over there, so I'm gonna add to it, okay? So Jeff, you're gonna help me out, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'll have all of my seasoning, my spices for my jerk rub, right? So we got a little ground chuck going on in there, right? So won't you go ahead and get the spices in there?
All right, what do we got here?
So we got some allspice, cayenne, thyme, oregano, garlic and onion powder, black pepper, brown sugar, and a little bit of crushed red pepper.
Brown sugar.
You gotta have the brown sugar. You gotta have that little bit of heat in there.
I ain't doing that, but I love doing it.
So give it a good mix, all right? So I have something already going on right here, right? So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and give these a flip, all right? And you want them to be bite-sized, right? So
look at that.
Oh, look at that crust, man.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
Now.
all texture right there.
brown
Some of that
sugar.
spice in there too, right? That's
The
doing
spice, yeah. So you have the brown sugar that's gonna help it caramelize a little bit, right?
Oh, this smells awesome. This has got
Lots of heat going on in there.
This might be 85% of your pantry spice here.
I mean, but
Spices.
everything, all the spices that's in there, right? You should have in your pantry. You know, we got brown sugar, red pepper. You have, you know, the black pepper, salt. All that stuff you can definitely find in your pantry. And what I like to do when I make my sliders is put a whole slice of cheese on
So
it.
it wraps them.
Yeah, so it wraps around the slider. Come on now, Sonny. You know how we do it.
I love this.
You
I'm
know
such
how
an
we do
idiot.
it.
Why have I always folded the
you need that.
get the little cube?
This is called a cheese jacket.
That's what
Yeah, that's an American duvet right there.
It's a new thing. So what I like to do is just cover it up, right? You like that?
I'm in love. Yes.
You like that, right?
I do.
All right,
She's
so
just
here's what we're gonna
excited
do
to get
next.
home and try it.
I love
So we're
cheese.
just gonna add, so I have some ketchup, right? And we're gonna make a little jerk ketchup.
Oh, look at
So we're
that.
gonna add some of those same spices, right? Just a little bit less.
Oh, smart.
I love this.
Wow.
And I love the doming effect to help the cheese melt over there. Very classic. Griddle,
Lime juice.
griddle
Lime
skill.
juice.
Lime juice, yeah.
Ooh, lime juice.
I love a flavored ketchup.
It's so easy,
You know,
right?
It is. Sometimes it's just, oh, I'll put some sriracha in it. Oh, I'll put some curry powder in it, you know.
Mason jar stored in the refrigerator. Can keep. All right, so easy, right? So I got something else for y'all too. I got a surprise for y'all.
Oh,
Yeah, hold on now. Hold on.
we got flags all over the place here.
Yeah. Hold on now, yes.
Man, that's my nemesis.
Yes.
Is it going on a
Easy.
slider?
So these are my red L onion rings.
What does that mean?
So what I did was I made a batter, you know, normal like a beer batter. But I like to use a dark beer that has a lot of flavor, so red ale, brown ale. So this one is a red ale onion ring, right?
Red
And we're actually
ale,
gonna-
nice.
Red ale,
Bonkers.
right?
Bonkers. The seasoning is crazy.
Boom.
Oh, that is great.
That's what I'm talking
Unbelievable.
about. So the cool thing is that all these recipes, right? So the red ale onion rings, the Caribbean sliders, you can all find them on the Food Network Kitchen app, right? I've been doing a lot of work with them. Know you all have too, right?
Yep.
So they have so many great recipes, demos, live demos.
I love the live.
So what we're gonna do is go ahead and get a little bit of this ketchup going down, right? Real easy,
These are going.
This is my
Look
lunch.
at that.
right?
Ketchup.
It's lunchtime.
Exactly. And
Come
then all
on.
we're gonna do is just top this with, oh, yes.
Oh, come on, Eddie.
Oh, that is
That's
why
what you
you
want.
do the whole.
That's why you do it.
Piece
right
of
there.
cheese.
Also, when you get that on a plate and you see that cheese on the side, it's a visual.
this
to
is
like,
getting-
there's some cheese going on here.
Whoa, look at that.
Oh.
Wait, no one wants to see
that's
a
two
side of a
stories,
burger.
Eddie. That's 2 stories. I seen it with my
I
own
know you
eyes.
can appreciate this, Jeff.
You do, you know. Oh, dude.
I am Pavloving all over the place over here. Let me roll up the sleeves, because I'm going to bite
It's
in
game
it.
day.
You can even fry
I
that
saw
cheese.
your nacho plate over there, so.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I cannot
These are good.
wait.
All right.
Onion rings on burgers aren't just for Western burgers. You know
No,
what I
no,
mean?
no,
When you
no,
get
no,
that
no, no.
Western burger and
Yeah,
it's
right.
got the
All right,
onion
so
ring
here we
on
go.
I've never
top.
heard of an onion ring on it.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard of onions.
On.
Oh, we got to
ring.
take you out,
Help me out.
GZ.
I don't go out.
Come on, man.
Oh,
Come on, Eddie.
look at it. It's like a halo of onion ring around the patty itself.
Well, halo.
Yeah.
I like
Hello,
that.
hello.
I like that.
Hello.
I like that. All right, who's getting in here first?
I'm gonna
Oh,
take
well,
a
you
piece.
got your
We're
man
all gonna take a
helping
piece.
you out. He's
Let me
gotta
let him
help.
slide that slider right over here.
Man.
I got you right here, Sonny.
Let me get
Help me out.
red and blue, Giants colors. Shout out to
If
the Giants.
only they were orange and blue for the Bears. Not happening.
That's definitely not happening. Not at the big game.
There you
And
go.
this is cute.
Oh,
This is,
milk
first
them.
of all, this is great for
Yeah.
a buffet because it's a nice little bite. It holds up.
man.
It's not gonna,
All that
you know.
cheese on
Go in
there.
there. Go.
Yep.
Get in there. Tell me
I'm
what you
gonna
think.
Oh, look at that.
Going down?
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Ooh. There's some spice up in there.
It got some kick in there now.
I mean, when you're talking about jerk has that unique sweet and spicy thing.
There
If you
go.
like Tennessee hot
Man, you
chicken,
did do some work.
jerk is kind of along the same lines of the idea of sweet and spicy at the same time. Makes you want to take another bite. It's juicy. The cheese melt 360 degrees around, cushy bun. I mean, put it on the buffet. We got room over there. Let's do it. Let's put it on the buffet.
I am using Hawaiian rolls. They're so easy to put on a sheet pan and warm up for the sliders. And then I have some melted butter, and I'm actually gonna top the rolls with a nice buttery seasoned mixture. So topping them is totally optional, but love this kind of food. So now I have some everything bagel seasoning, and I'm just gonna generously sprinkle the tops of the Hawaiian rolls with this seasoning. The Hawaiian rolls are already baked, so I'm just putting them in the oven until they get a little bit toasty and a little bit golden brown on top. We're gonna move along and get the chicken ready, and I'm gonna first mix up a honey mustard marinade. It starts with mustard, honey, lemon juice, just 1 lemon, paprika, red pepper flakes, salt and pepper. Then I'll mix this together. All right, 4 cutlets. I cut them into 3 pieces, and then I'll just mix it. Ooh. If you want to fire up the grill outside and grill these in your backyard, that's great too. All right, I'm gonna get the rest of the chicken on the pan, and then I'm gonna grill them on both sides, and then I'll keep moving forward. So I turned it over to the second side. Now I'm gonna top with some bacon that's already cooked and slices of sharp cheddar. It's gonna take no time at all for that cheese to melt, so let's go get those delightful rolls out of the oven. So check this out, Paige.
Oh.
My God. How amazing do these look? So I'm gonna start separating the rolls. Oh my gosh, these Hawaiian rolls are a dream. Cut the rolls in half. So I'm gonna start with a little bit of ranch dressing. And for the lettuce, I'm using just bib lettuce, and I tore it into pieces so it goes right on top of the ranch. And then comes the chicken bacon cheese. And then I'm gonna top with a plum tomato, just regular French fried onions from a can, a couple of pickled jalapeno slices, the lid on. You don't have to use a toothpick, but it's kind of nice if you're building several. So I'm gonna build the rest of these sliders. Okay, I got them all built.
You see the char on that corn? This is gonna get the party started. So next, I'm making my sliders. So for my burger, I have 80-20 ground beef mixture. That's 80% lean, 20% fat. Jalapenos that I have taken the seed out. A little orange juice. A little lime juice. Some minced garlic. 2 tablespoons of my house seasoning. A teaspoon of chili powder. And 1 teaspoon of cumin. All right, so this patty is super flavorful. I'm making sliders, so they're gonna be small patties. This mixture makes about 12 patties. So I'm making them about this thick. I wouldn't even say that's an inch thick, all right? Let's grill these burgers. All right, so I have oiled down my grill so the burgers don't stick. All right, so I am just gonna grill this for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. I prefer my burgers cooked medium well. All right, so while that cooks, I'm gonna get started on my Mexican-inspired street corn. I have some corn that I have taken off the cob. I'm gonna fry this up with a little salt and some garlic, but I'm gonna wait to add the garlic just until the end because I really want that garlic flavor to stand out. A good burger to me, not only is the patty well seasoned, the toppings also make it too, you know? Like, I'm gonna get a well-dressed burger. I want my burger dressed to the nines, honey. Okay, let me check my burger, see if it's time to flip. It is. Look at that. Got some nice grill marks on there. And the spices in the patty give it a really nice color. That green sticking out from that jalapeno. Beautiful. Okay, I also like to hit my burgers just before I take them off the grill with a little salt. So the burgers are most likely up to medium well now, so I'm just gonna take them off. Don't wanna overcook. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna turn my heat off so it doesn't cook anymore. You see the char on that corn? That's exactly what I wanted. I've been cooking it with a little bit of salt and that oil. Now I'm adding in that garlic. Turn the heat off, that's that. Now I'm making my dressing. I have some mayo here, a little lime juice, lime zest, a little cilantro, got some green onion, a little tortilla cheese. It's salty, a little nutty. Mix that together. I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper. So now I'm gonna add my cooked corn. Give it a mix. I'm gonna add just a little bit more chili powder for some color and more smokiness. All right, let's build our burger. Get some sweet rolls here. Add a patty. Get a little piece of this bib lettuce. Close it up. And chow down. This is gonna get the party started.
Summer food. It's all about summer food today. I'm going to make some scrumptious summery delights, starting with beef brisket sliders. This is basically set up in bar form, and everybody can just pile the beef brisket onto slider buns and top it with all sorts of fixins. This is my kind of party food. So I'm making a rub for the brisket, and it starts with a little bit of paprika, garlic powder, chili powder, and then some brown sugar just for some nice caramelization and sweetness. And I have my two favorite Dallas residents here with me today, Alex and Mauricio.
How we doing?
We're a two-man crew today.
Don't tell Stu and Paige how efficient we are, just the three of us. Okay, so I also added some salt and pepper, and I'm gonna stir this around. I love beef brisket. I mean, it is so amazing because you start with this big hunk of beef, but when you roast it and then slice it or shred it, it turns into this just pile of meat. And it's so great for a crowd because everybody can just pile it on buns, or they can just pile it on their plate if they don't want to do the sandwich situation. Lots of summertime options. Okay, speaking of hunk of brisket, here it is. Now it's partially trimmed, which means some of the huge pieces of fat are trimmed off. Oops, I forgot to do something. No, I didn't. I'm just gonna do it this way. No, I'm not. Okay, before I sprinkle the seasoning on, I'm gonna show you a fun little trick. So I'm just gonna take a knife and just poke some little pockets in the brisket, and then come in here and watch this, Alex. Ready?
Wow.
Meh.
I've never seen this method.
Isn't that fun? But imagine the flavor when this cooks. And by the way, this is cooking in the oven for 7 hours.
Is that garlic?
This is garlic. Oh yeah, I guess that's relevant information, isn't it? I kind of thought it was self-explanatory. But you get these little surprises of garlic throughout. Hey, that might be the name for my next memoir, Surprised by Garlic. Or not. Okay, back to the seasoning mix. I'm gonna sprinkle half over the top, and you can get as rubby as you want. Is that a word? I don't know what, that I said it and then it sounded very strange. This other side has quite a bit of fat, but that doesn't matter, because the seasoning is just gonna wind up everywhere. Now, of course, if you're a smoker, and I don't mean that kind of smoker, I mean if you have a smoker in your backyard, you can totally smoke this brisket. I kind of like using my oven because I like the air conditioner. I don't want to go outside until the party begins. Okay, now I'm gonna go wash my hands before I put this in the oven. Don't go away. All right, Alex, would you like to come around to the oven with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Follow me along on my brisket journey. So as I said, this is gonna cook for 7 hours, low and slow, 275 degrees, until it's totally tender. Obviously, Mauricio and Alex are a very busy and important couple, and they don't have time to sit around here for 7 hours, so look.
Ooh.
Now, it's very, very dark. It looks like it's burned or charred, but it is not, trust me. Do you trust me, Alex?
I'm feeling
Oh gosh!
Oh my God.
I'm okay. I told you it was tender. That's always a good sign of a brisket when it totally falls apart like that. In fact, that was part of my plan for the demo of this recipe. So So you can shred it with 2 forks, or you just go in with a knife. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
And then it just reveals all that luscious, juicy meat inside. And what I love is that the outside of the brisket is sort of that smoky charred flavor that you would get at barbecue places in Texas. Not that you guys would know anything about that. All right, so I'm just gonna keep slicing until I've got the whole thing sliced up. This is juicy.
It's literally like,
Okay, we have to
juicy.
stop in the middle of the slicing. Alex, you have to come in close and get it while I slice.
Wow.
Is it juicy?
Very juicy.
oozing.
I can't see.
Gosh.
That's what you want to see in a brisket.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, it is juicy. I love that. All right, back to slicing. Okay, got it all sliced. Look at this, Alex. Just do a little panning shot of this beautiful brisket. It is perfect. It's juicy, it's tender. It didn't completely fall apart, which is nice because I knew I wanted to slice it. But if you want to just use 2 forks and shred it to smithereens, that's totally acceptable behavior in this part of the United States of America. Okay, so I'm gonna move this out of the way. And then I'm gonna bring in this big, beautiful board.
Wow.
And this is what you serve it on. So I've got some soft rolls. I'm gonna put this brisket on. And then I've got this colorful coleslaw with cilantro on top, pickles, sweet pepper relish, pepperoncinis, jarred sweet peppers, and a little bit of spinach to make it all healthy. Oh, it just all looks so amazing. I'm gonna build a slider. I think it's appropriate as the host of this show to make sure this brisket is not poisonous. So I'm gonna pile on some brisket. And when I say pile, I mean not one piece. Look, there's a little piece of garlic.
Right.
It's a garlic bonus. And then some colorful coleslaw, which is amazing. Couple of pickles, some sweet pepper sauce. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so good. I will not be eating this on camera, I'll tell you that. This is not.
Do it, do it, do it.
No, I
do
will
it.
not succumb to peer pressure. But I will succumb to these beef brisket sliders. They are winners.
We got some nice potato rolls here. So we're just gonna lop that kind of across the equator. Now we got our 9x14 here. I got all my ingredients, starting with some melted butter. We're gonna make a quick little mojo sauce to help add some more flavor to our pork that we're gonna put in a second. What?
Because mojo is actually sauce.
Yeah, mojo means sauce.
Sauce.
It's like
It's like
ragu.
Smart.
It's like saying shrimp
Like-
scampi, which I hate. People
Yeah,
say,
shrimp
"Lots of shrimp scampi." I'm like, what?
So we're gonna add to this garlic, essential part of any mojo, plus our citrus ingredients, which is the zest of an orange and a lime, some cumin, we got some fresh herbs too in the form of oregano and parsley.
So
And
with this butter, you're kind of mimicking what the pork would normally marinate in.
Exactly, because what I did was do a little shortcut, because this is a time saver, and we are just grabbing some pulled pork or plain pork from the deli aisle or the hot bar or the grab and go and shredding it ourselves. You can get, if you can find a pork loin in the deli, a lot of times you can get sliced pork loin or smoked pork loin. It's a great application, but
Straight
this is
down?
what they had, yeah.
Any
You know what, I'm
oil?
just gonna put a little
Do it.
Boutros butter on there. Just to kind of help with the nonstick, a little more flavoring.
I'll take it.
But what you want to do is kind of let this steep for a couple minutes, let it mix up, and you can smell the garlic and the citrus in there. It's wonderful. Like I always say, Sonny,
Little
ribbon it up
piles.
across
problem.
on both things, right?
Done.
We got this going, all right? This doesn't need much, right? That garlic was, zested or minced. We're just gonna put a little bit, make sure you mix it up into that pork directly. So you get a little hydration in there. Oh, it smells so good. Here we go. So we are going to now, I'm gonna add my pork to this. All right, we got the ham, of course. We need some good old dill pickles on there.
I just wanted to touch the pork, sorry.
That's all right. How did it feel?
Felt good. Felt succulent.
That's good.
I like
That's-
that you added the butter to it to kind of bring it back to life out
Layers
of
of
that pack that you
flavors.
bought. Yeah, this
Swiss
is
cheese,
smart.
right? I wonder
Yes.
where that came from with the, I don't know the history too
good
much of the
melty.
Cuban. It's great melty. Sonny, if you can,
Slather?
yeah, help me slather here.
This is a
You got-
Detroit-style Cuban.
Detroit
slider.
style. I like that.
Right over the top?
Just good old, yep. Line it up. I forget which one was which. You remember? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Now we're gonna mix this up. Give me a big spoon. We got a big spoon here somewhere. Now I get to pour this over the top. This
Slow
is just gonna
motion.
create just like
Yeah.
a glistening, shiny top bun.
We're not
And it's
worthy.
obviously
The magic
super...
is when you uncover it and it crisps up and you get that buttery, golden, crunchy top.
we're doing
Do
it
it.
all.
All right, hey.
Oh,
All right, why not?
Okay. Okay. Let me do you the honors.
Yeah, do me the honors.
I'll give you a slice.
So we are putting this in the oven, 375, for about 20 minutes until it starts getting all homogeneous and melty. So it could take about 20 to 30 minutes, just check on it. And then we're gonna uncover it and kind of blast it with a little direct heat for a minute. I got one ready to go here.
you know what these slider bakes remind me of? They're kind of like monkey bread, you know, that you're pulling apart.
Oh, you don't want to show us? Is that what that was? Okay.
Cheeseburger sliders, and these are not the sliders that you think. So I started sauteing some onions in a little bit of vegetable oil, and I'm adding some ground beef, and instead of forming them into individual patties like you would normally see sliders, I'm going to cook all the ground beef together, crumbling it as I go. Okay, so I'm just gonna cook this for about 4 minutes until the beef is totally brown. All right, the ground beef is pretty much brown, so I'm going to add some Worcestershire sauce just to make things a little more interesting. I'm gonna add some more pepper. I want the ground beef to be super flavorful, and you can actually doctor this up with hot sauce. You can add like a little bit of barbecue sauce to the meat if you like that kind of thing. All right, so I'm gonna turn the meat off, and I'm going to make a little sauce for the sliders. So what's your favorite condiment for burgers?
Mayo, ketchup, and mustard.
Well, you're in luck, Mauricio, because I am making a mixture of mayo, ketchup, and mustard. Not gonna put it on separately. I'm just gonna stir it all together. And again, you can have some fun with this. You can add hot sauce, barbecue sauce. Okay, so look at this. It's called muscanaise. So these are slider rolls, and they come all stuck together in a package. I cut them through the middle, put them on the pan, and I toasted them in the oven just until they were starting to get brown. So watch this. All of the sauce goes on. It looks like a lot, but it's really not as much as you think. And then you want to spread it so it really gets out to the edges. These are cheeseburger sliders, so I've got some grated cheddar jack, and I'm gonna add half of it right on top of the sauce. And then I'm gonna add the ground beef. It's just like one big sandwich, and then I'm gonna bake it and cut it into individual sliders. And it's really packed on here, you guys.
That's the way I like my sliders, nice and beefy.
That's right. Same. All right, so basically you want to spread the ground beef just kind of so it's on an even layer and it goes out to the edges. And then the rest of the cheese goes on. And then my favorite part, which isn't that revolutionary, it's just my favorite part. Pickles!
Yes.
And
I love
yes, and what I like to do is just do a slice kind of over each section. Okay, so then, as you can imagine, the top goes on, and I'm gonna give it a little bit of a press, and then I have some olive oil, and I wanna show you what I'm gonna do to the tops of the buns. I am not content just to put naked buns in the oven. I have to doctor them up. Naked buns are not my thing. Everything bagel seasoning.
Oh.
Interesting, right?
yeah.
It just kind of gives the buns a little bit of interest. All right, let's put them into the oven, Alex. Come along. 375 degrees, just until the cheese melts and everything is piping hot, and then we'll dive in. Ooh, ooh.
Oh my goodness.
The tops of the rolls got a little toasty. I love it because they kind of look like pretzels almost. They kind of got that pretzel-y color about them. So then all you have to do is just kind of very casually run a knife through and just cut off however many sliders you want. 1 for me, 4 for Mauricio,
Yes.
7 for Stu.
Yes.
Check it out.
Wow, those look amazing.
Yummy, right? Who wants to taste this?
Me? Mauricio.
Yes.
Stu?
I do want to try one.
I know you wanted to. And how good would these be with like jalapenos on them?
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Say less.
Whoa.
Yummy.
The sauce.
Their sauce is amazing.
Thumbs up.
Double thumbs up.
Double.
Chopped Italian sliders. All right, so I've got some of my favorite deli meats. I got some prosciutto, some salami, some smoked turkey, pepperoni, and of course, provolone cheese. All right, so I'm gonna give the meats a rough chop first, and I've kind of already diced some of my veggies on top, just to make it a little easier for myself. So I have some banana peppers here. Banana peppers are way more tangier than hot. You're just getting a lot of that acid and vinegar. Some red onion, some tomato. And what I like to do is actually add my lettuce in once I mix it up because I don't want my lettuce to get super, super wilted. All right, and chop. Because these are going on sliders, I want this chopped because I don't want those big pieces to kind of fall out of that slider bread. All right, that looks good to me. Nice and roughly chopped. I'm gonna take my meat and put it into this bowl right here. I have some romaine lettuce here. Again, just giving it a rough chop. Actually gonna push this to the side, all right? Super simple dressing. I have some mayo. All I'm gonna do is just add an Italian dressing that I love having in my fridge. I usually make it from scratch about like a week or so ahead of time and just kind of have it hanging around for my salads. And in this case, for my sandwich, it's just like your standard Italian dressing, some olive oil, some Parmesan, some vinegar and spices, like dried basil, oregano, and parsley. All right, mix it up. And I'm gonna toss that with my chopped meats, cheese, veggies, and lettuce. That looks good. Okay, all right, now, to this bowl, I'm gonna add my lettuce and that dressing. Just add a little bit at a time because I don't wanna make this super soggy. Okay, give it a mix. Oh yeah, that's a chopped Italian salad. Wow. I got some sliders here that I've kind of sliced down the center. All right, so I'm just gonna take my chopped salad here and just add it to my bottom bun. This is definitely gonna be a hit at the party. And if you make it at home, it's gonna be a hit at your party too. And it's kind of messy, it's supposed to be that. I find that some of the messiest foods are the tastiest foods. Add my top bun, top it off, and this dish is done. All right, the fun part, take it apart. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna take a bite.
So my bridge friends are coming over for a game of bridge, and I thought, you know, instead of the usual snacks, I'm gonna make something special. So I've got a grill going, I've got hot coals, cool cocktail, and I'm gonna make sliders, which are baby burgers. So it's 2 pounds of ground beef. I use really premium beef. I like grass-fed beef. 3 tablespoons of olive oil. That keeps it nice and moist. This is really easy to make. And some good spicy mustard, Dijon mustard, about a tablespoon. Tablespoon of garlic. I'm gonna chop it really fine. So that's 3 cloves of garlic. So sliders are great. They're small hamburgers. I'm gonna do them on brioche rolls and have lots of things to put on top, like tomato sliced, little thin slices of onion. Everybody can assemble their own. Okay, 1 tablespoon of garlic, finely minced, right into the mixture. Some fresh thyme, about a teaspoon of fresh thyme leaves. Just peel them right off the stems. Beef is such a strongly flavored thing. You want to flavor it, but you don't want it to go pow. You want layered flavors. A little bit of mustard, a little thyme. Just give it a chop. Really releases the oils in it and distributes it through the meat. Okay, teaspoon of fresh thyme, 2 teaspoons of salt, teaspoon of pepper. Give it a big stir with a fork. Fork's really important. You don't want to compact the meat, you want to keep it really nice and light. There are 2 big mistakes of hamburgers. One is compacting it when you're actually forming the burger, and the second one is pressing it when it's on the grill. Gets rid of all the nice juices into the grill. You want to keep these moist and light and delicious. Okay, time to make the burgers. So this mixture's going to make, would normally make 6 burgers, but I'm going to make 12 sliders. And so they're approximately 2 inches wide by 1 inch thick, and they're going to go in little brioche rolls. Perfect. Roll it around. Don't press it while you're rolling around, and then just shape it into a hamburger. I'll have the sliders all ready to grill. I'm going to make the toppings next, and some confetti corn. It's so delicious. And the good news is, I don't even have to make dessert. Jack's getting all the components, and all I have to do is assemble it. Next are the sliders. Got all kinds of great toppings. First, I've got Gruyere cheese. Big pile of Gruyere cheese. Next, I've got all kinds of colorful tomatoes. And everybody can help themselves. Everybody wants to build their own hamburger, don't they? So I've got red tomatoes, yellow ones. Just looks great if you can get different colored tomatoes. And orange tomatoes. And of course, red onion, for those few people who like red onion on their hamburgers. Not me. Okay. Next thing I've got is some fresh arugula. I love this, it's nice and peppery. So it's gonna go in with the sliders, little brioche roll, all kinds of toppings. These are gonna be delicious. And I'm all set to go outside and start grilling. I got these fabulous little brioche rolls. My friend Eli makes them. I'm just gonna grill them for just a couple of seconds until they're toasted. I think I'll just do the bottom. I'm gonna do them with arugula and grated Gruyere and sliced tomato. I think that'd be perfect for the bridge party. Okay, let's see how, this isn't gonna take very long, I don't think. Look at that, perfect, excellent. I have sliced tomatoes, those wonderful vine-ripened tomatoes in red and yellow and orange. Oh, they smell so good, the brioche buns. Andrew, can you come help me?
Delighted. Here
I need somebody in charge of arugula.
I'll be in
How's
charge
that?
of arugula.
Do you want to put a little bit of arugula on each one? Starting
do
right
it.
here and work your way over.
I can
How's
manage.
that?
I can
okay.
manage, yeah.
I'm going to brush the grill
All right.
for the sliders. They don't stick. And wait till you see these. These are amazing. I got a whole plate of sliders. I love these little hamburgers. They're just so juicy and flavorful. About 4 to 5 minutes on each side. And these are going to be the juiciest, most delicious sliders anybody ever had. Okay, who wants cheese on top?
Who doesn't?
Absolutely.
So a little bit of grated Gruyere on each one. It's good and smoky. What's a barbecue without a fire? I'm going to put the lid on for 60 seconds tops. So it's going to be all nice and melted and perfect for the buns with arugula. Can't wait. Hamburgers are perfectly cooked. Fabulous. Now that's a perfect slider.